#Real Race Talk. It's the Revved Up Sports Show talking local, regional, and national action. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Never say never. Diving in once again. Gentlemen, do you have me now?
I got you. Can you hear me?
Oh, man, that is awesome. Yes, thank goodness. Different computer, Jacob. I think we got it all figured out here. Bobby is checking in there. So thank you all for waiting patiently. It looks like we're about 30 minutes late, but that's okay. But we're gonna do what we intended to do right here as we dive in, and we're going to talk about the inaugural launch of the STIMS series. And of course, that is the South Texas IMCA modified series. Jacob Hortz joins. Bobby Chaffee is getting himself set up over there on the other end down south. So, Jacob, I know that we talked on Revved Up before, but before we drop the schedule, and again, I know it's been the last couple of days. I've seen, obviously we had South Texas and Texana with Owen. He was on with us. And then I saw the Cotton Bowl and 37 were kind of doing their things right there. Kind of talk about the reason, the idea behind you're doing this once again. Just kind of remind people what the idea of STIMS is once again.
Gotcha. Well, first off, thanks for having me on the show again.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully we get this figured out. On the STIMS series, the main point of just even trying to put it together was we had 4 different tracks that all ran modifieds. Some of the times they overlapped, but it was always 8 cars show up, 10 cars, and we're all racing at different tracks. And it wasn't necessarily the track's fault. It was just everyone wanted to race modifieds as like a weekly class, and try to bring the big boys to town. And it never really put on a great show, so we were trying to figure out how to put it all together to where it benefits the tracks and makes it fun for the drivers to go out and really compete. So doing the series was a way to get everyone on board, and all the tracks came together and really helped to put this thing together. So thanks to Marianne, Mike, Ray, and Owen. All of them were a big part of letting this be able to happen. So
yeah. Let's take a look, Bobby. We got you, my man. You there?
I have a voice.
Oh, there he is.
There you go. Keep talking. We can hear you.
You'll enjoy the setup I got over here tonight. I'll have to send you some pictures. Jacob, sorry for the inconvenience there with a little bit of technical. It's like working out the gremlins on a race car. You try to find one, you think you got it, and then something else happens. So the schedule basically got released over the course of the last couple of days with all the racetracks updating their schedule, saying STIMS will be here, and here. But how cool is it to know? I know when I was running a limited modified series, man, when you finally got that schedule out, and you could almost take your first deep breath of saying, "Okay, guys, here's the schedule, bitching, find something else," right? Like, there's got to be a little bit of sense of relief just getting that schedule out there.
Yeah, and I mean, we were trying to figure out the final dates even all the way up to yesterday. So I think that some of like I-37, I think we switched around 2 dates, so they'll repost it and get that figured out. But the IMCA STIMS series is the one we're going to put out, is going to be the final one, the correct one. I know we tried to move it around, and we finally got it. It's done. It's ready to post. So I'm excited for what everyone has to say.
Yeah, and Jacob, how important has it been for you? I mean, because I know, you've got the Tom series and everything, but I think it's really been important for you. And what I like that you have done with this is that you have kept the IMCA part in there to where that's what's going to bring these big mods out to these races. Yep. How important was that for you to keep that part in there to where it's kind of across the board, kind of what people are used to doing?
Yeah, so I mean, there's plenty of Tom series guys and USMTS and all those other kind of unlimited modified, unlimited money cars. Being with IMCA is what people have down here. You know, we don't really want to go travel to Oklahoma every weekend to go run, and it was one of those things where we gotta race what's around here, and that's IMCA, and stick with those. So we're 100% IMCA. No rule changes at all. It's just going to be what they have. And I was even on the phone with Jim Stannard over there today, talking about, you know, sanctioning and how we're going to do that. So.
Yeah. Hey, Jacob. So I am curious. I mean, have you gotten when the whole idea came out about this, was there any pushback from folks where it's like, you know, I know we're IMCA, but let's change this or let's do that?
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
did you get that?
Yeah, of course. And I thought about it too at first. You know, I was like, oh, we can do, you know, we can add a little fun to it, but at the end of the day, it's just going to end up causing arguments and, you know, oh, well, the rules say this, so I fudged it here and did that, and it's just one of those things where we're just going to be IMCA rules, keep it simple, and just see how it works, you know.
So Jacob, in terms of the IMCA sanction, help me out. Is it the best 18? I saw the schedule. You guys are at 20 races, so it looks like maybe you have a couple of mulligans if need be. So talk about that aspect of it a little bit if you got it.
We'll have 19, I think, points nights, or the series will have 19 regular nights. And then we'll have, at the end of the year, we'll have the Oktoberfest at Cotton Bowl, and then the DTK at I-37. I don't think either one of those will be for points. IMCA's last points night is September. It's the last week in September. I think it's September 28th. So that'll be our last points. That way IMCA is done, and then I think we'll have three drops. So if someone doesn't want to come to all 19 nights, that's a lot of racing throughout the year. There's a lot of opportunities. So we'll take the 16 best nights out of that someone out of what they race, the best 16, and then that'll be our points fund setup.
Yeah. So Jacob, is that going to be? I mean, I don't talk about the IMCA, and we'll pull the schedule up here in just a second. The full schedule. Is this going to be a thing to where, obviously, with IMCA being a part of whatever? So with STIMS, is STIMS going to be, hopefully, that you're going to be able to get a points fund in for STIMS? I don't know if that's in place or not. Are you actively looking for that, or what's kind of the plan with that?
Yeah. So we actually picked up a sponsor today. Fast One, Philamonona. They're gonna sponsor or help sponsor the points fund, so that's a plus there. We have Eastside Hot Rods, Robert over there. We picked up him. He's gonna help with a lot of the sanctioning fees. And another thing added to the points fund today was Garrett Gregory with Supreme Vinyl. He's adding a full wrap for a modified for the winner of the series for 2025.
Nice. So, nice. I like that. All right, so let's go in here and kind of fill in the gaps. Like we said, you know, we've kind of watched that different racetracks have dropped their schedules. Jacob, I mean, if you want right here, you can kind of walk us through here. I think I have the. Again, I'm on a second computer here, so hopefully I think I have the right one. But if you want to walk us through here, man, this is about as damn full as you can find.
Oh yeah. There are plenty of nights to race there. So I know some people were, you know, back and forth, keep it small. Let's just do a weekend thing, or, you know, a little 5-6 weekends. But the main goal of this was to try to condense all of the racing into focusing on one track per weekend. So we did use a lot of dates. That way we were able to try to spread out the racing. I think there's 2 weekends a month. There's some 3 in there, 3 in June. We're able to, we put on there the Mod Madness. That's not a STIMS race, but that's going to be one of the weekends that we take off, because there's a lot of guys that are in the STIM series that are going to go run that race. So just to help out Heart of Texas and help that series, or that race, that'll be a off weekend as well. We're trying to stick mostly, I guess, between both Cotton Bowl and I-37. A lot of the races are going to be at those two. And then we're going to hit Edna, I think, 3 times, and then South Texas Race Ranch, which is going to be 3 times. That's going to be our opener, March 2nd, with the sprint cars. That's going to be a big show that he's gotten. I think he said that the other night with you guys. So that should be a pretty darn good showing. But that's pretty much it. The October 11th and 12th, and November 1st and 2nd. Those are the two big shows that I know are scheduled. So shout out to Marianne and Mike and Ray. They're gonna, I think, up the purse a little bit for those two and go from there.
Well, to a certain extent, because like you said, there's a little bit more racing there at Cotton Bowl and at I-37, but that's where the car count was, right?
Correct.
Not your 20 to 25 car counts that you want now with the series coming to town, but I mean, you at 8 to 10, sometimes 12, depending on what happened on a given weekend, and so that makes logistical sense in terms of doing that. Was there any consideration at all moving up to Heart of Texas at all? Or was it just too far north for what you guys were trying to do?
They're a little too far north, and they do have a good kart kind of up there, and they race between them and Kennedale. So that's a next year question. If we make it to there, we'll see if they want to have us come up there for a weekend or so. But keep it mainly between the 4 tracks down here, being in South Texas. That's where we really wanted to keep it.
Jacob, isn't that the thing? Because it really does seem like when we talk about going up north, and I know we kind of touched on this, but they kind of got their own thing right here. But what I like that you have done right here, and you're not so much south. I mean, when you want to talk about south, I mean, you're kind of right there in the middle. This really is a thing to where you're trying to work with the tracks down here, because Marianne has a great, or Marianne and H, they have a great following right there, but that's their core group of racers. But this really is an opportunity for modified guys to get out and do some touring stuff to where it's going to be more beneficial to get out and get the cars out of the garage and get them out there and race a little bit, on the road from time to time.
Yep. Yeah. And there's actually a couple guys that have come back and they were like, hey, the series looks fun. I think I'm going to try to race it this year. Derek Scott, he didn't, I don't think, race maybe once last year. He's going to come back and run with us, which was a top, 3 finisher pretty much every weekend. And then also Dalton Knox, he was going to see about his modified, where Chad Fitzgerald, he's going to try to race more this year. So a lot of the guys are like, hey, let me set my other stuff to the side and go try this out and see how it works out. So I think it'll bring a couple more cars off the shelves, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jacob. So in terms of like the one of the questions is talking about the big shows after the end of the IMCA points, and I think that's probably a to be determined deal. If the series is successful and you guys get a bunch of camaraderie, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal to pull everybody together to race at the Clash in Edna and race at the big end of the year show, the shootout down there in Corpus. I think it's more of a, now you guys are you're off the baby mat, right? You got your legs underneath you. Yep. You're starting to walk. Now, chance to get up to the running position and actually start walking a little bit more. And I think that I think all in all, though, I think the way things are shaking out now, the schedule's out. You've got a good list of guys that have committed to the series. I think it's got the possibility to really work and actually be Texas racing.
Yeah, I really think that it's going to be successful. I wouldn't have put it together if I thought it wouldn't have helped that much. But just when it comes to the Clash and some of those races that are later November, December, January. Yeah. We didn't really want to schedule those, just being with, we already have 19 races, and they probably don't even know what classes they're going to be running in some of those. But when the time comes, we'll be more than happy to race those and show up, without being on the schedule. One of the things that we agreed on with the track, so like if there's an off weekend on the track, then the tracks are able to go back and run, whatever they want. So it'll just be IMCA modifieds. So if we've got, a weekend or two in there that, we're off for 2 weekends straight, and I-37 or Cotton Bowl wants to throw in an extra weekend of modified racing, they can still run modifieds, but it won't be under the STIMS.
Right. And I would think kind of the big answer to this question that Daryl Boyd is asking about, and again, I'm just this is just my opinion, talking about can the Oktoberfest, DTK, Owens races, all that can that be a separate thing? That's really up to people that want to invest and be a part of this, right? I mean, if you know what I'm saying here, if you get folks that want to come up and throw some money at that, I mean, that's great. I mean, I applaud you for putting this together, because what you've done right here, and you can kind of touch on this a little bit, like you were saying, you get all these modified shows where it's like, man, I mean, you may get 6 or 7 cars and it's a good race, but damn it, I mean, we want 20 modifieds. We want you guys out here hanging these bitches out there and just racing. And I think that's what fans really want to see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the series is only going to be as successful as, what the drivers can bring to it. And I think, we've been really working hard on trying to call up people that we know and trying to bring some sponsors in. And, like we said, we picked up 2 today, and a lot of this stuff is just now getting out there, and, people are hearing about it, and it's a for sure thing now. So hopefully we pick up a few sponsors that want to put in a little extra money into the points fund, and it'll just be as big as they make it. I'm not taking any money out of the series whatsoever. I'm a driver. I don't want to be part of necessarily the funds part of it. It's just going to go back to us and back to the tracks one way or another.
So Jacob, in terms of the overall scope, what surprised you the most from when you got started trying to set this up, or had the inkling to set it up with a couple of guys? What's been the most surprising thing that you've experienced so far to the release of the schedule today?
Oh man, most surprising. I think how actually on board everyone was. I mean, we definitely had to talk about it and figure out a few things, but everyone kind of had the same idea with all the tracks, and just being like, well, I didn't know if I was going to run modifieds a full season, or we need to figure something out, and just getting with all the tracks, they were like, that sounds like a good idea. Let's work something out and figure it out. And to me, it was kind of surprising. I mean, it wasn't an easy task, but it was still one of those things where everyone was on board, and let's make it work,
Yeah, no, that's the biggest part right there. And have you had that communication? I know that when we talked a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about guys that maybe have gone to factory stocks or whatever, but in the conversations, when folks are realizing that this is a legit thing, it's really going to happen, there's going to be dates all around South Texas. Are you getting those guys that are like, look, I've got this car put away, I'm going to pull it out of the rafters, I'm going to get it off the rack, I'm going to fucking go race with you guys? Because I think that's the biggest thing that can happen out of what you're doing right here.
Exactly. Yeah, there's definitely people that they're questioning it, and they want to know more information. And a big part of it was, what's the schedule, what's the pay, what's the purse, what's the everything. And we'll release it all on the Facebook tonight. And the pay is more spread out throughout, first through fifth, and it's not as much to win, but as we hopefully get more sponsors, we can add it to where the races are more to win up front, or more bonus. We'll talk to the drivers, and we'll figure that out. I don't want to do this all 100% by myself. I have pretty much so far, but it's one of those things where we need everyone, trying to get everyone happy, and it's a hard thing to do, which we're just doing what we can and just trying to go have fun.
I think it's got benefits to it, because Texas weather shakes out, right? If you got a big weather storm that runs through and knocks out, say, Kennedale for a night, some of them IMCA points chasers, they might be pretty interested in coming down south and running a Cotton Bowl against 20-something cars, because I mean, the more cars, the more points you get, isn't it? Isn't that how it works in IMCA?
That I don't know. I've never really been a points chaser. We're just out there having fun. But yeah, I mean, Kennedale, Heart of Texas, if any of those guys want to come down and run, all power to them. So hopefully we put on some really good races, and draw some more fans, and just have fun. That's what we're here to do. That's what racing's for. So
yep. That's exactly right. So, Jacob, obviously, we've got the STIMS page right there where folks can kind of dive in for additional information. Anything that's going to happen. What I really like that you're doing right here is that you pretty much said, okay, these are the rules. This is what's going to happen, because that always is the thing right there. And then the other question, and we're seeing it right there: money, all these different things. I mean, you're just getting started here. Best place for folks to get a hold of whoever. I mean, I know that hopefully you're going to be racing. A part of this. Where do folks dive in to be able to for all the money questions? If you want to be a donor, if you want to be a sponsor, I mean, how do folks dive into this?
Yeah, we'll make a sponsor post. That way they can, reach out to us, whether it's on Facebook or you find me, either one, or Branson. He's been helping out a little bit with this too. All three of us or all three ways of contacting us are great. Going through the series Facebook is kind of our main source right now of being able to push out information. So that'd be the best way to reach us, I would think.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Bobby, I don't know if you can hear me. Kind of final thoughts right here as we a little delayed, but I think based on the views that we're having right here, I think people are figuring out what the hell's going on, and this is going to be a really badass thing.
Yeah, much like a unique race night. You just got on to start working, right? Got to make it happen. No, I think that now that the schedule's out, I think that there's a good mix. I know that when we talked to Owen, he was disappointed in the car count that he had at Texana and at the race ranch, right? Six cars can make a good race, but unfortunately, lots of times. So I think the ability to attract at a minimum, I would say at a minimum 16, 17 cars per race, much less the ability to potentially get 25 would be amazing. So I think it's going to be back to the days of, when you show up at a racetrack, there's going to be 4 or 5 ads that night, and that makes a lot of fun from the announcer's perch. I know if it makes it fun for us, that's going to make it fun for the fans in the stands and people watching on TV and watching online.
Yep. Yeah, everyone's got to participate, So it's one of those things where I don't race I-37 much, but this year we are. So I'm gonna have to buckle up the seatbelt and drive a little farther, and that's just part of it. It's gonna be one of those things where it's only gonna be as good as we make it, and I don't want to discourage anyone from racing or cut down their season. I'm trying to make it better, and it is a haul to some of these tracks, but it's one of those things we all have to work together and we all have to race together to put on the best show, and the more we bring in, the more cars we bring to the track, the better we can make the payout. So
I'll ask you again, Jacob. I mean, it is so easy for you. I mean, you can go out and race around the state of Texas. I mean, travel, do whatever the hell you want to do. Why are you doing this? And I think that's the most important thing that people need to listen to your answer, because I know the fucking answer. Why are you doing this, man? Because this is going to be a pain in the ass, but you can kind of answer that on your own.
Yeah, I mean, it's all for fun. I love going out with my dad and, just being able to race and being with family and, just having fun and being able to go where we want and race when we want and just being able to compete. We're a very competitive family, I guess I would say. I may not be in the top 3 every night, but we do try to race clean, race hard, and have fun. So that's what it's all for. And, just having fun. That's what we're here for.
No doubt. That is what it's all about, my man. Thank you so much. Sorry about the hiccups. I think we got it all figured out. We had plenty of people watching. And again, like you said, additional information on the STIMS page later on this evening into tomorrow on some other stuff other than the schedule.
Of course. Yes, sir.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing what you're doing. And, of course, this is an open platform for you anytime. Dive on anytime.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
You got it. Take care.
Jacob, good luck.
Yes, sir. Bye.
You bet. There he goes, Bobby. That, man, labor of love. We always talk about that on here all the time, and that's something right there. But I do think, and that is a very full schedule, in my opinion, of what he's doing right there. I mean, there are plenty of dates right there where I think that they can jam.
Very ambitious, but I think it's got the ability to work.
Yeah, I think so too, man. They can jam these South Texas tracks to where, I mean, just think about that. I mean, think about. I mean, ideally, think about Texana. Think about 37, 24 cars on those tracks. Shit, that's going to be a lot of fun right there if they can pull that
Be a
off.
lot of fun. That event on March 2nd down at the Race Ranch. Granted, it's a Friday and a Saturday show.
Mhm.
That Saturday show is shaping up to be something else with those
Yeah.
ASCS National Tour and the debut of the STIMS modifieds down there at the beach.
Mhm. Yeah.
Shit, man, we were gonna expand out the year end awards with Race on Texas. We were gonna do obviously the Neil Upchurch Promoter of the Year award, but we wanted to add in an event of the year award, and we got a lot of events to
Might
choose
be
from
real early.
this year.
Yeah.
Might happen real early, so it'll be a hell of a lot of fun this year. It's here. I mean, just a couple of clicks away from the Clash at Daytona, or the Clash of the Coliseum, a couple of steps away from the Daytona 500. And once the big boys start showing up on TV, that's when we start racing around here. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Before we shut this thing down, a couple of words from the folks that make this show possible, friends.
Hey racers, Phil Whipple here with the Revved Up Sports Show. For the past year, you've heard us talking about our partners over at Generation Race Cars. I'm proud to say they're back again this year, and they're off to a great start. Generation Race Cars, located in Springtown, Texas, continues to offer new chassis body combos all the way to turnkey sport mods and limited modifieds. All cars are built the same as you've seen in Victory Lane with drivers like Alex Hickam, Jeff Shepard, and Dean Abbey. All customers are valued and treated equally, so why not join the winning team? Justin Long is committed to giving each and every customer the time they deserve, along with a commitment to bring quality into every build. If you're ready to join the team, give the guys over at Generation Race Cars a call today at 817-528-2947. You put a lot into your racing program, so why not take it to Victory Lane with Team GRC?
On-demand shirts, Generation Race Cars, proud sponsor or partners and sponsors right here of the Revved Up Sports Show. Bobby, I know over the weekend we were kind of laughing about some stuff. I wanted to play this on Monday, and I forgot when we were talking about some of the antics that happen at the old dirt track. Here it is right here. Right here.
Oh, Aye.
There you go. There you go.
Just because it happens at Bowman Gray doesn't mean it needs to happen everywhere.
I know that's a bad part. You see stuff like that. I mean, you see people on the national scale doing shit like that, and it's like all these young, even older people like that that see that, and it's like, okay, that's the way we're supposed to act. Come on, man, be better. Makes us all look bad, in my opinion.
The way that I thought the guy that handled it the best was T-Mez at the Chili Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he was a smart ass, right? A little bit, but that's T-Mez in general. But I think that he handled that the best that I've seen somebody handle that time. That's going to go a long way towards the next person trying to just absolutely lose their shit with something. And it happens. We've all been there. When you get the redness in your eyes, when you put that helmet on because it squeezes your brain too tight, like it. We've all been there and tried to do stupid shit, but like you said, we just got.
Yep. Yep. So once again, there is your STEM schedule that we were talking about. And you can take a look right there. Like Jacob was talking about, you got 3 dates in March. I mean, you got 3 dates in April. I mean, May's going to be busy. June, July, August. I mean, all the way through, Bobby, it looks like there are going to be plenty of dates right there for racers to get to the racetrack to. And the whole thing is, I really think with this, it's going to be a situation right there where you have all of those dates, you have all the different racetracks to where you may have 24 cars one week, and the following week, if it's a back-to-back, maybe you have 14. I mean, it's not going to be jam-packed all the time because that's a lot of logistics right there. But the whole thing is what Jacob and these guys are doing is they're giving guys and ladies a chance to go on out and race, make IMCA points, do STIMS points. If you want to be a part of this, get involved, message these folks, and make this better. It's something. It's something to grow off of, which there wasn't that before.
No, I mean, I think it's right now. It's set up as a little bitty bonfire, and hopefully it catches. Would be the best thing possible. So I think it's gonna anytime. You know, you and I have both been involved in series before. The golden rule: you get 15 that say they're coming, count on 7.
Yep.
You get 21 that says they're coming, count on about 15.
Yep.
25 say they're coming, count on about 20. You know, it's the general thing, and as the race will police itself, in terms of how well it comes in and does and stuff like that. So I mean, I imagine it's going to be local race directors doing the race directing. So it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. No doubt about it. It's a good chance to help grow big mod racing around here, and I think it's something that's going to be really cool. All right, guys, thank you all for being a part of show number 3 on the week. Bobby, hell, what are we? 4 days in the week and 3 shows, man. I'll tell you, this might be something. Thank you all. Thank you for scanning that QR code. I saw that somebody has done that. That is going to be the QR code that takes you right to the Revved Up site. That's a spot where you can go back and listen to all the archives, whether on audio, go back and watch all the videos. The latest edition is going to be right there in the middle of the page. So all of that is there. So thank you all for being a part of that. Man, look at that, man. They're clicking on it. Maybe I'll pull it up one more time.
And you'll be surprised. You got to go there and do some homework. You're going to be surprised at some of the people you've heard us talk to over the course of the 8 years of this little shit show. Multiple NASCAR Hall of Famers, multiple Texas racing legends, some in audio only format, some in the video format. But definitely don't just click on. Try to dig in there and find something that's going to really tickle your buttons there.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we're back on Monday. We will do it once again. A big thanks to Jacob Hortz for checking in, sharing that schedule right here with us. Again, check the STIMS Facebook page. You're going to have additional information there. That schedule will be there. And of course, everything else that he was talking about. And if you want to be a part of that, dive on there, sponsor that series. Quit asking about, oh, what's the point fund? Well, dive in, help them. Make this thing really, really cool. I think it's going to be a good time. We are back on Monday, unless we do something tomorrow. Who knows? We may do another one tomorrow, Bobby. What do you think?
May having to go Saturdays unfiltered at some point. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Really cool stuff coming up as we are diving into racing season. It is right around the corner. Like Bobby said, I mean, dirt track racing world is alive. The Busch Light class will be here before we know it. Thank you all for diving in on a Thursday night. It's Bobby down south. I'm Rodney up here. We got the gremlins figured out. Thank you, Jacob. And we will catch you Monday. #Real Race Talk. From Texas, it is the Revved Up Sports.